Que de faire? And we... Oh, God. But you can hear me nonetheless. I will talk right over the Death of Glory tabs and say hello to everyone. We're going to talk about some stuff for just a little bit. We're going surprise live because Kyle got super excited to talk about World Eaters. And then his card died in the middle of Raleigh. And now he's not here. So instead of that, we got Brandon, who's a legendary World Eaters player.
No. If Blood Angels are World Eaters, maybe.
I mean, they're almost Chaos.
I mean, they practically are.
They might as well be. Let's be honest. Those guys, ever since Space Jesus died,
They're crazy.
They have not been the same.
Death Company are way better Blood Eaters. World Eaters.
Hello. Yeah, so figure we do. I was going to record this and go live, but I record it, then put it up, and I just said, you know what?
Let's do it live.
Let's do it live. I deserve attention. I'm a pretty princess. People need to say hello to me.
You are a pretty princess.
I know who I am. Let's talk about the boys from... Why can I remember Angron's planet now? Ooh, that's upsetting me quite a bit. I know so much lore, too.
Isn't this your favorite army?
It was my first tournament army. I brought World Raiders first.
I know, and you don't know anything about them.
I do too. I just can't remember the planet, mainly because my brain's tiny and I'm old. God damn it. What is it? Sarah something? Psoriasis?
Psoriasis. That's a skin condition.
Yeah.
All right, let's look it up right now.
But, Sarah, why can I not remember the whole planet? And I did put this up with absolutely no notice, so I don't have enough people in chat to immediately correct me. So.
It's a New Syria. Nuceria.
Yes. See, just like I said. Hey, you know, you could have been. You could have been part of the conversation here. Well, let's talk about Blessings of Khorne. So, basically, if you're World Eaters... Yeah, exactly. Instead of the one person watching. Yeah, we didn't exactly go give a lot of notice for this bad boy. We just, like I said, I was just going to record this and throw it up. Then I went, let's just make this a thing.
I mean, I only found out 6 minutes ago. So.
Also true. I mean, most of this was Kyle wanting to go live and talk about this, and then he is not here. So let's make it a thing. I appreciate that. We'll get some stuff going. Like I said, why record something when I can go live and do something?
I mean, we can sub Crawley in right now. We can make him like a little Tyranid.
We will be talking about the bugs a little bit too. Brandon made a point that I had to actually say was legit.
All right, let's hit it.
You're a one night, yes.
Let's talk about Yahtzee. Let's do it.
So basically, if you're World Eaters, you roll 8d6, kind of like Warp Storm right now. And then you can use those dice to activate up to 2 Blessings of Khorne from the Blessings of Khorne list. And you literally have to make different permutations with those dice. You can only activate each Blessings of Khorne once per battle round. So you can't just do 2 of the same thing. And then on each dice, just go to shit. Then they activate for the whole round. So let's talk about what you can get. Hold on. You know what I want to also do? Brandon, I need you to roll 8 dice.
All right, I got this. Let's get some dice ready.
Oh man, you didn't have the dice ready. He said he was getting 8 dice.
As my dogs are going buck wild in the background.
I mean, those dogs aren't protecting anything, but they are very good boys.
I think they're protecting me from the UPS man who's delivering the new Zelda game.
Ooh, not bad.
All right.
So
what do we want, Brad?
Well, let's go over what we could get. So basically, +2 move is any double. And so is Wrathful Devotion, which is a 6-up Feel No Pain, but actually it's better than that. Because if you had Feel No Pain before, you add +1 to your Feel No Pain. Which is
so that could be like a Warlord trade, or that could be,
anything.
Ability for spawn, maybe.
Exactly. Double double threes is sustained hits, so exploding, and then total carnage. Double fours or any triple. So each time a monolith unit is destroyed by melee attack, if that model has not fought this phase, roll a d6 and a 4+, then it gets to fight. That's kind of lame compared to the strat where you just straight up got to fight. So I don't know how much I'll use total carnage.
It's still pretty good solid ability though. I bet you a lot of these abilities are going to move to a 4+, like Wolfhead and
you can only get 2 of them. So you can only use 2 of anything on this chart on any given battle round. And you can't double up on anything. So Warp Blades is double 5s or any triple, and that's lethal hits, which if I recall, because I destroyed this the other day, lethal hits is auto wounding on 6s to hit.
That is auto wounding on 6s to hit.
Yes! Score for Brad. So, and then Unbridled Bloodlust. Double 6s or triple 4s.
All right, so should I roll or should we wait till we read out about Angron? Because Angron has an ability that uses these dice as well.
Yeah, but let's see what you would take. Come on,
right.
Roll down. Come on, I need to know.
Okay, I have pretty good Yahtzee roll. Okay, so I have 2 1s, 2 2s, 3 3s, and a 5.
So you can do Warp Blades because it's any triple. You don't have triple floors, so you can't, and you don't have double 6s, so you can't do Advance and Charge. But you could do any of the beginning ones. +2 to move, feel no pain, exploding 6s. That's pretty badass. And
so
Zerkers allow you to reroll the dice.
I would do the lethal hits, and well, let's reroll. Let's roll your.
+2 to your move characteristics a big deal. If you're talking about people they have now with a 9-inch move, think about that. You know what I mean? You were super excited to have Avocado make you go +2. Just having that board wide is pretty badass.
And then if we look at Khorne, like if we just have one guy holding objective with an icon, we get to reroll. So yeah. I rolled a 6. Oh, we have 2 troop choices.
Yeah.
I rolled another one.
Well, let's talk about the troop choice, the Zerkers. Zerkers are pretty badass. So they've got.
So have their attacks gone down, or is this the same amount that they had before?
Attacks went down because it looks like the chain blade's just not giving you an extra attack. So the Berserker Chain Blade is. They're hitting on 3, strength 5, AP 1, 1 damage. The Eviscerator is 3 attacks, hitting on 3s, strength 8, AP 2, 2 damage. And Blood Surge is pretty much the same, which is pretty. And
so is it me, or did they condense the chain swords and the chain axes? Or is that done with the newest codex?
Say it one more time.
Did they condense the chain swords and the chain axes?
I think so. They did change the icon. It basically, instead of just auto completing it when you do, each time you make a Blessings of Khorne roll, if the bear's unit is within range of an objective marker, you can reroll one of the dice. So you can reroll a decent amount of the dice, like Marcos was saying, and get different shit.
So my question is, because there seems to be a couple of these abilities popping up. Is there a cap on any of this, or do you think
I don't know, dude. I mean, this is probably actually you get to reroll 1 for every objective you have. I don't know about the CP though. We were talking about that because like there's a lot of different troop choices right now that have you get a CP on a 5+. Are they not capping it? Because remember at the beginning of 8th when we had just like guard players, they did the guard Castellan Blood Angels army, which basically just got infinite CP. I don't know if they're doing that.
You know, I think there is a cap because it was hinted at a little bit in the Votan article. Because when you look at the stratagem, here, I'm going to pull it up right now. The way it was worded, it made it seem like you could only do like 1 CP ability a turn.
Yeah, I would assume that it's going to be 1 CP in the core rulebook again, but in 8th edition, it just wasn't. And that was just a crazy time.
So if we look at the Ruthless Efficiency rule for Votan, if at the start of any of your command phases that enemy unit is destroyed, you gain a number of CP regarding of how many or how early in the battle you destroyed it, as shown below. Refer to the chart. You can only do this once per battle. And CP gained in this way are an exemption to the core rules that limit the maximum number of CP you can gain per battle round to 1.
Oh, look at that. They accidentally put it in there. Woohoo!
So I do think there's going to be multiple ways to gain more than one CP, like a refund, but I think it's going to be capped at one unless it's specifically exempted.
I mean, this is true. 8th edition did allow Winged Hive Tyrant spam and flyers at -5 to hit. I mean, you're not wrong.
I mean, you don't want 8 Talent Masters at Samael with 3 Cluxus Assassins blocking shots for everybody?
Oh, Jesus. This is stupid. That's when the only way to kill their flyers was to punch them to death. Which I did. And or use flamers. That was my personal favorite also. Dude, let's talk about Big Daddy himself. Angron, now stogie smoking, styling, profiling, limousine riding, high profiling. He's pretty badass. So he's, for one, when he comes back, because he has the ability to come back with your blood tithes, he comes back at full wounds.
Yep.
So that's 16 wounds. Also, they have not shown any of these Primarchs or big demons and stuff to be towering. So you just can't straight shoot them. So if they're behind something, as of now, what's up, brother? If they're behind something as of now, you're just not shooting them. You know what I mean? And that's a big deal. Like he's like a million times more playable if you can just hide behind a piece of obscuring. You know what I mean? I mean, he's not even just playable. He's going to hit the table for me. Because one, he looks like a bad motherfucker. So that's sweet. 2, if you can't just randomly deuce him out because he can't hide, then he's pretty badass. Also, 666 brings him back. That's just not that hard to do, especially if you're rerolling, man. Roll 8 dice now. Roll 8 dice, and we're holding 2 objectives, so you get to reroll 2 dice.
Okay, I've rolled 1 6 so far. Here are my 2 rerolls. I did not get it.
Man, Angron is not happy with you.
Is Crawley on there? Crawley, what's the probability of rolling 3 6s on 8 dice?
I mean, pretty
All right,
good.
there's 2 6s, Brad. There we go. We got it with my 2 rerolls. 3 6s.
Woo! I mean, because you do have to use it when he dies, though. So you really have to use... That's going to make it tactical, though, because you're not going to push him out unless you've got those 3 6s waiting. Because
Each time you make a blood... No, I think this just happens at command phase, Brad.
Just period?
Not right when... Yeah.
Oh, it's just... He basically just goes into reserve. I mean, again, full rerolls or full wounds is pretty badass.
Yeah, the start of the command phase. And his ability works at the start of the battle round.
Also true. I mean, the fact that you can just bring him out, like, bam.
I am concerned about building a strategy around it because that probability is not very high, even with rerolls of rolling 3 6s.
But if you
on 8
have it,
dice.
let's scroll back up, man. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you could literally...
I would take literally any of the other abilities and just like take one of the other characters.
I mean, he is getting 8 strength, 16 AP4, D6 plus 2 damage hits, and or 18 attacks. I mean, his sweep attacks are picking up Marines. I mean, the dude's not fucking around.
Because I just rolled these dice 6 more times, and I've only gotten 1 or 2 6s.
Oh, Jesus. Even I fucking roll better than this. Where's some dice?
Okay, there's a nat roll of 3 6s on the 6th fucking roll.
This guy's killing me. Killing me, dog.
Give me some of those Art of War dice.
Jesus.
I that's a bad strategy. If your strategy is to roll 6s.
Well, I mean, how can that not be your thing? Just roll better.
Perfect. Roll better.
Tactics, baby. Tactics.
All right, I need someone to do the math. What is the strategy? There we go. Michael says 0.13. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, literally, you get 1 6 per 6 dice, and then you get 8, and then you got rerolls.
That's not much. I wouldn't build a dire strategy of, hey, Angron might come back to life on almost 1/10%.
Bro, that shit's going down. It's
it's going to happen.
It's like
gonna
Sex
happen, but
Panther.
It's
It's
not
also
a strategy
each
I would build
time you
there.
make it, he can come back. So, like, you have 5 different times that this can go down. I mean, that's legit. Like, also, he doesn't fuck around. I hate the fact that they made the weapon spotlight this stupid demon gore cannon. You're like, hey, man, the army that's basically all hand to hand. Let's talk about the Lord of Skulls stupid belly button cannon. Go fuck yourself. Like, I give a shit about this cannon. Really?
Hey, this is the one anti-tank gun of the entire army.
Yeah, on a freaking Titanic Lord of Skulls. Go shut up.
I don't think I've ever noticed a little corn dog heads on his belly.
I mean, yeah, it's got a belly gun.
No, I'm talking about the heads right next to the belly gun. I've never noticed those.
Oh, really? Yeah, it's got. What? How do you not notice that?
Well, because no one ever has a painted one of those on the table because it's been bad forever.
Yes, it has been. Alan did bring 3 of them like a year ago. And he 3D printed them the day before. All right, let's talk about the blood, our friend, because this stratagem is actually pretty badass. So, any phase, one word of unit for your army that was just destroyed while it was within range of an objective marker you controlled. You can use the stratagem on the unit even though it was just destroyed. I think that's the whole point. That objective marker remains in your control even if you have no models within range of it until your opponent controls it at the start or end of any turn. Basically, it's sticky objectives.
Yep. It seems solid, especially if your entire army wants to run forward.
Yeah, true.
So there is one thing that's hidden in this article, and you have to scroll all the way down to the bottom.
Uh-oh. I'm scrolling.
All the way down.
How far?
Has to the very bottom where there's the thumbs up and the share button.
Okay.
So if you look, there's a 2-star note. Note that you still can't blood surge when your transport gets destroyed. Units forced to disembark from the ride goes boom are automatically battle shocked for that turn.
Oh, hell, that's fucked up. So they don't count. So if your vehicle blows up, you're just instantly not objective controlled?
Yeah. That's insane.
Yeah, they haven't talked about that yet. You know what? I'm highlighting this. I'm putting like a little blue around it. Look at you finding little nuggets. I would have never scrolled all the way down.
I know you don't know how to read, so I got to make sure I keep you on your toes.
You know what? This is why I hate transports even more now. Because apparently I'm instantly battle shocked out of them. That's fucking bleh.
So we don't know how, because it says when your ride goes boom, there might be different forms. Like this might be like when you roll a 6 on the explosion instead of just being destroyed. You know how there's different tiers of wrecked and exploding? We don't know that specifically, but yeah, that can be pretty rough.
Look at you ninja reading stuff. Scrolling down to the bottom of an article, I wouldn't even have thought. I didn't even know the bottom of articles existed. I read the first 2 sentences.
I wanted to see who was next because I don't like world eaters.
Aw. You know who's next? AdMech. Boring. Sorry.
Literally
guys.
any other Space Marine chapter would have been fun, but we get AdMech.
God damn Scions of Mars. You know what? It's a pretty good book. Let's talk about
Tyranids.
Let's talk about barb gaunts and biocannons.
So right after the World Eaters article is released, they showed the new barb gaunts and what they do, like with their gun. And this by far is amazing.
I mean, it's kind of a badass thing. These guys literally, if they hit you, not wound you,
just hit.
If an enemy infantry unit was hit by one or more of these attacks made by this unit's biocannons, till the end of your opponent's next turn, the whole freaking turn, they're -2 move and -2 advance and charge. That's a potential of -6, you know what I mean? So, whatever.
So it is important to note it only impacts infantry units, but this is the same thing the Thunderfire Cannon's been doing for several years now, and why the Thunderfire Cannon was fantastic until they made it ridiculously expensive, do less damage, and made it cost way too many command points to pull this kind of stuff off. But now you're just getting a base unit in the Tyranid book, which doesn't have to use a stratagem to do this. And who knows if that unit could split fire, you can target several infantry units and just slow down the entire army.
Brandon, why do you seem so jelly?
I am jelly. I like my Thunderfire Cannons.
Don't be jelly, yo. Don't be so jelly. Plus, they might have a bad thing. They do have a giant hunchback weird thing. You know who's badass? These stupid Neurogaunts.
Well, they also look badass.
Well, they have synapse.
Yeah. So they extend the synapse range.
That's legit.
And they're probably going to be like 3 points each because these stats are terrible.
Yes. However, they do provide synapse. So you just run a little squad up and hide, then you have synapse for everybody else. Uh-oh, need some peanut butter for that jelly? Ha ha!
Whoa, what if I'm allergic, Michael? What if I'm allergic? It's sensitive.
Also, Matt, I believe 1,000%. GW needs to drop the full mission rules already so we can theory craft off slightly more information. Yes, so much yes. It would make it for better discussion, and people would get more excited.
I don't think they will till June. I think it's going to be like right after the first GW event. I think that's probably when they will release it.
Hmm, I don't know. I don't know.
Because how many more books are there?
A lot.
Exactly.
Like,
So that's content.
we
all
could
the way into
literally
June.
do all of the legions and all of the chapters if you really want to. Well, plus we haven't touched elves at all.
I'm actually surprised elves haven't been talked about other than the Falcon.
So that's a big deal on that. I'm wondering if they're gonna talk about, what do you think are the AdMech going to be super faction? Are they going to faction focus all the vehicles and walkers and stuff tomorrow? Or are they going to give you lots of random dudes?
Well, they'll probably do the infantry squad. Pick your poison on which one, because aren't there 3 different ones?
Vanguard, you can do Rangers. I mean, you could do any of the hand-to-hand versions also.
I don't think it's going to be the guys on tracks, because those guys are pretty interesting. So why would they cover them? I think it's going to be the Vanguard. Probably talking about the new stealth rule or maybe a scout move. They'll probably talk about the chicken walker guys as being their premier anti-tank. The big guy,
Call. They'll probably talk about Call. For
either
sure.
call or the Onager, the battle tank.
I could see that. Rangers, Walkers, and Call. It's because you have some of the basics in there. So, I don't know. Like, Tyranids look pretty interesting.
When I first saw these models, I wasn't too impressed, but actually seeing the close-ups of them on different angles of the Neurogaunts and the Barb Gaunts, they do look pretty cool. I wonder if these are a replacement for like Hive Guard or Pyrovores, or if they're in addition.
I think they have to be in addition, to be honest with you. You're always going to need Hive Guard. They've been there forever. They're part of the game, I feel like. So that's kind of a big deal on that. But they've got a lot of synaptic shenanigans, basically.
Mm-hmm.
So I think they're going to be really wacky. Because since we've seen Tyranids and we've seen demons with that, I think that you can do some serious battle shock manipulation. You know what I mean? I think demons so far have been the most interesting. I think that Marines have been the easiest to figure out because they just go reroll, go boom. And demons, I feel, have the most shenanigans. But like, as we see more, Tyranids might be up there too with that.
I mean, Tyranids have always been low-key pretty good. Like, even since 3rd edition when I started playing. Like, I've always have had concerns playing against Tyranid armies. And they've had a lot of strong builds in the past, and there's a very loyal fan base.
Yeah.
So it's time that they definitely deserve some love. I mean, this edition, in 9th edition, they were
Dominant.
fantastic.
Yeah, they were dominant.
For a good year and a half.
Meadow, what army previews are you guys most hyped about? Sisters was much better than what I was expecting. Sisters seemed crazy. I was theory crafting the shit out of that, and I was trying to figure out the most amount of miracle dice I could put in and do a turn 3 and just go absolutely bonkers town with fate dice. I think that that's going to be nuts. So yeah, sisters, I'm always excited about my elves. So I really hope that elves have some uniqueness in the craft worlds. That would be the one that I'm most excited about.
And with sisters too, like when they were talking about the terrain rules, they still have the sanctum. And if the sanctum just blocks line of sight, that is so much better than what it is now.
True.
Because now you can actually hide an entire 2,000 point army. Like if you can't shoot through the stained glass windows, you can hide an entire 2,000 point army behind that.
Oh, you got tons of space. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Whereas before, because if you're dry, you can be seen. You were just getting shot off the table. But if that blocks line of sight now, that's probably a solid addition to any sisters army.
Agreed, 100%. I think that army is nasty. I think that was one of the strongest low key. I I do think the demons are probably the strongest. I mean, Marines might be just because of so many rerolls, but we'll see.
I think Marines are going to be strong if people move towards taking nothing but big stuff. But if it is an MSU kind of build, I don't think Marines are going to be that strong because
See, because I disagree on that because we'll see. Obviously, we're gonna see points, obviously, but like my initial Marine thoughts are basically every single cheap speeder type vehicle because they all have way higher toughness than all the infantry type stuff, and they just have volume of fire with the guns. So we'll see.
We haven't really seen any damage reduction. Like so far, we saw the one Slaanesh guy with feel no pain and -1 to hit.
Yeah,
But
just if you have
overall, I feel like it's while there's less
devastating,
damage.
yeah, devastating wounds, full rerolls to hit and wound, you're just getting effectively like 4 extra mortals all the time. You know what I mean? In addition to whatever you're doing. So I just feel like you'll have the answer to most things if you're just playing Marines. I think that demons look super strong though. I think demons can really mess with people. I think that when that put out, I think that the amount of mortals that you can take from battle shock tests is going to add up over the course of 5 turns. That's just a big deal. I mean, even if you're thinking about vehicle heavy armies, man, like because they're giving you that -1 and you have to take a battle shock test, you can just take like an average of 6 to 10 mortals over the course of the game. You know what I mean? Because you figure that they're failing 2 or 3. You know what I mean? And taking D3 per. Dude, that's just a lot.
It adds up real quick. I do agree with Matt. I think Eldar Thousand Sons will probably show us what happens to psychic heavy armies. That's like right now the psychic powers haven't been that impressive what they've shown. Like it's just a shooting attack.
Yeah, but it's a volume though. Like like demons have because of the psychics being put as just straight witchfires on that. Dude, they have like way more volume than they've ever had. I mean, we've had flamers in this edition, obviously, but like all those big creatures had like 18 and 20 attacks in the shooting phase with the psychic attacks. That's a big deal, man.
Pink horrors are going to be fun again.
Yeah,
so many shots.
You're just rolling like just a brick of dice at everybody. That's going to be just nuts.
So what book am I excited for? So you mentioned Eldar. I'm excited for Tau. I want to see how Tau can compete with this. I want to see if they maintain their jump, shoot, jump mechanic for crisis suits and self suits. But I'm also interested in seeing some of the other units for Space Marines. And the reason being is I don't really play an infantry heavy Space Marine list. I want to see how bikes are. I want to see how speeders are. I want to see those fast units.
You don't play a bunch of infantry. I never did. I got that one, Mr. Bike Master. Jesus.
I want to see if I can take Outriders in bigger than 3-man squads and have special weapons on them. That'd be kind of cool.
Jared wants to see Death Guard. I could see that. But I mean, we'll see what everything's going on. It's just I'm wondering how we got to see more in terrain too. Nurgle Matt, what you want to see Death Guard? What?
I don't think they want to see Death Guard. I think they want to see Sisters Battle just previewed a second time instead of Death Guard.
So I'm excited to see more, and I think we should. But I really wish they would put out more rules. You can give us the faction drip, you know what I mean? A faction every day or two, and keep the excitement going. Put out more of the goddamn main rulebook. And for one, not only multiple reasons. One, it'll make the community happy. We don't have to just have conjecture about rules, but also there's so many events that are happening right after the rules drop. Give the damn TOs a chance to figure shit out.
This is an interesting question. Have they mentioned anything about Legends? So from what I heard, they're redoing all the Legends units now, and there's speculation, so take this with a grain of salt, that certain units that are being made to order will probably turn into Legends. So like a lot of the Space Marine characters still have power armor, not Primera-sized characters, will probably become Legends.
Man,
just because they're not selling that much.
That sucks. I've already had multiple people that I used to bring in my armies that are not available anymore. Remember the small reign of the Chaplain Dreadnought?
Oh yeah, like I'm gonna miss Lysander. Like I still miss all the Legion of Damn Skulls. Like
yeah,
those are amazing rules that were fantastic, and then they just said, "Hey, we don't want to sell these anymore." I'm like, these are the best Space Marine sculpts that you've made. Period.
Ooh, I really hope they don't lose Death Called Assassin. That's my favorite model in that army.
I don't think they will get rid of Death Cult Assassins because they made a plastic version of it relatively recently.
Does Crusaders have a plastic version too?
Crusaders do not,
That's so sad.
but
I thought they just had the old metal models.
well, actually, let me look because they did pop out the new Inquisitorial Agents combat patrol,
Yeah,
or not combat patrol, the kill team.
yeah, the kill team that literally looks like it's going to be Henry Cavill and the people that come with him in a show. Yeah.
So I don't remember if Crusaders are in there, but they do have other characters.
The old Watcher in the Dark has us. He says they are.
Well, if they're in those boxes, I don't see why they would get rid of them.
That is funny, man. He goes, there's one Crusader from Blackstone. Dude, there was so many random one-offs in the Blackstone box. It is so fucking crazy. Man.
I do love the crew character in that box.
There was so much shit in there, dude.
I think just the fluff of that entire box, and I'm sad it didn't pick up.
It was awesome. It had so many random unique guys and named characters and all kinds of wacky shit in there.
I would actually like to see terrain from that set, like incorporated instead of just gothic ruins all the time.
I thought it was badass. That is true. Rest in power, the busted headback character from the top row. What was he? All I can think is the dude from Knights of the Old Republic now. HK-47. What was that guy's name? He was something 001 or 11, whatever the fuck he was. He cost 10 points or some bullshit. It's so retarded.
I mean, speaking of random characters, like when I was playing against Sisters of Battle this past weekend, somebody had 2 random acolytes in a list. I'm like, wow, this is really annoying. Like, where do these come from, and why can't I target them?
10 points too.
10 points for just a character that can screen out stuff. I'm like, maybe I'll take Inquisitor Billy and make him an acolyte just to add it to my list. I
thought about doing that in my Space Wolves. However, then I'd have to find 10 points because that thing is refined.
Do you have a Storm Shield? Or you could get rid of the Thunderhammer, I guess, on your Lord.
That is true. Then I could just make him hang out with an acolyte. I'd make a sidecar on the blanket for the acolyte. Jump in, bro. I love everything about that. I might do that. You know what? I'm gonna bring an acolyte.
You're gonna bring an acolyte?
Because he can be a monkey, can he?
He can be whatever you want. Like, I think fluff-wise, it's an Inquisitor in training, but
yeah, but can I bring I could bring like a Jokero.
I mean, I'm gonna bring Inquisitor Billy with his pimp hand from 4th edition.
I love everything about that.
You know what I'm talking about, where he had like the metal hand, it's like this.
I'm 100%
carrying those psycho choke grenades.
Yeah, oh god, those are so stupid. Jokero has extra rules, but I want a monkey, a 10-point monkey running around. I want Curious George on the board.
Jokeros used to be so much better than they are now. They're just a shadow of themselves.
They used to be able to have las cannons.
They were the Imperial Obliterators.
Yeah, they just morph stuff. Now they're 10-point idiots.
All right, so besides Brad's musings about taking an acolyte with the power sword, because he's going to find extra points just to make sure it has something. So, what's the plan for next week? Are you doing anything this weekend with streaming? What are we streaming next week?
Good question. When is MCM? End of the month? So
you have 2 weeks until MCM.
So 2 weeks or 2 play weeks, or like
you have this weekend?
I'm looking at the calendar.
Yeah, look at the calendar.
So for 2 weeks from today, basically.
Yes.
I will be at MCM. So this week I'm going to a wedding tomorrow, and next week I was thinking about going to Maryland, but I'm broke, so I can't get there. And I think we should probably stream something. We should get a game stream. I'm down with that.
Okay. Who are you calling out? Are you going to do it on TTS or are you going to do it live?
Good question. Both at the same time. I will TTS a game while streaming a real game.
They're just kicking everyone's ass.
MCM lists are due today?
They are due today.
Oh, really? I don't even know if I'm registered for that event. I should find that out.
I'm going to make the bold assumption that you're probably not.
No, Rough Riders are just out. They're too expensive for what they do. Unless you sing DMX the entire time, then they are 100% in.
See, all right, I'm gonna disagree.
Stop,
they might not be good,
drop,
but
shut them down, open up shop.
the edition's almost over. Just have fun and play those units that you haven't played. Like I was talking with Mike Henderson about the trash tier army he plans on taking to MCM.
Oh, he's bringing goats. But
He's bringing like 120 Zangors.
I have to give him so much props. You know, he's not even probably going to see this right away. He went 3-3 with Sisters of Silence.
He did magically play against Grey Knights and Thousand Suns because they were all in the same tier or the same bracket.
I don't care what he played against. He played Sisters of Silence and went 50%. That guy's a wizard.
I don't know, Brad. I feel like I could pick up that army and go 3-3 at an event. Mike actually offered to send that army to me to play at Rocky Top.
Sisters of Silence.
Yes.
You take the challenge. I don't think you can go 50% with it. I
think I could easily go 50% at Rocky Top.
I will take that bet right now.
What are we betting?
I don't know. Sandwich bet?
No, it's got to be more interesting than that. Because that event is way more expensive than going to MCM.
Fine. If you can go 50% with that army, I will let you pick the faction I play for the next tournament I go to.
All right. Let me think about this, and we'll talk on Monday because we're going to talk about AdVac on Monday.
I also have the cow suit in my car.
See, the cow suit isn't really a challenge because I'll just wear it. Like it doesn't. I'm not offended by dressing up as a cow. I literally wear a cow jersey for representing Moo Crew now. So.
Wu-Tang Clan.
See, Michael supports me. At Rocky Top, you can go 50-50 for sure.
Was Sisters of Silence?
Yes. You are definitely underestimating the power of mid-tier players.
I just don't. I still think that Henderson was like, but he got possessed by Bobby G and the spirits of Malcador and anybody else, and just somehow woke up and was like 3-3. What happened, guys?
Also, I'm going to say, so one of the games he lost on day 2 was the Death and Zeal, or no, it wasn't Death and Zeal. It was the mission where all 5 objectives were out in the open, and he played against Imperial Knights. So it's just a bad match. If any of those objectives were actually hidden by terrain, he would have beat him 100%. Because he has all the bodies, and he could just block the movement of the Knights.
They would just get pew-pewed.
Yeah, I'm not saying you don't get tabled. What I'm saying is you 0 Knights out on scoring for 3 to 4 turns. Because you have 100 Sisters of Silence and 9 Rhinos. The list is stupid.
David Cowie, indeed. What am I going to play Eldar next? Good question. If I went to a tournament chain next week, I would play Eldar. Because I've got a new concept for Eldar.
You should do it.
I just don't have anywhere to go that's going to not be expensive. I don't think I have anything around here.
There's probably a local RTT in Michigan.
I'm going to show up in pew pew. Pew 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 pew.
So I think next weekend, next on the 20th, there's an RTT that's open to me. I might bust out Tau. Just try it out. Almost try out those core broadsides and running 100 crew. Put them on the table.
I got to get my 4th score for MCM with Space Wolves, so I got to bring it thing. Also, does anybody know how to look at faction rankings for ITC?
Oh, it's so dumb. So you have to click.
Hold on.
Do a search.
I'm doing it right now. We're gonna
hold up. Let's watch. I'll guide you through it.
You know what? We're gonna. People can watch because I'm literally my window that we're watching is the actual screen. So how do I get there?
All right. So you just type in ITC rankings.
Hold on. As I let people know, I was watching some random Star Wars shit.
At least it wasn't porn that you shared with everybody.
ITC rankings.
Okay. So then when it loads up, click on your name. I think you're 80th.
I can't imagine. I only have 4 scores.
I know. You're still 80th because you got 2nd place of the Super Major.
I have 1-1-2-2 are my scores. I accept your cookies. All right, what do I got to do from here? Hold on. Actually, I didn't find me. I got lazy. Brad. Okay, I clicked on my name.
All right. So then it has the listing of all the events that you played in, and then it has the team name, and then it has the army that you played. So you click on the army.
Click on the army.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then it should pull up the roster where everyone's ranking is for that particular army.
I'm 21st. I've got 2 scores for Space Wolves.
But if you look up Michael Henderson, he's #1 with Sisters of Silence.
Because he's the only person that's
He
played
is
them
not
ever.
the only one. There's another person playing Sisters of Silence somewhere on this world. We don't know if he actually played Sisters of Silence. I can guarantee Mike Henderson did because I saw it. I don't know who's dropping, $1,800 in an army that's that terrible.
I need more scores. So I got to play in 2 things. I should just go play in an RTT so I can have a score.
Yeah. I mean,
What?
you figure an average RTT, if you get first place, you get 150 points, so. But the question is, you don't have Space Wolves because they're currently in my possession. So what are you going to do?
I just play Eldar. But I need a Space Wolf score. I need a 4th score. Because my 3rd score will be at MCM. Well, no,
Yeah.
I'll get a 4th score at Teams at KC.
Yeah,
I'm playing Space
go to
Wolf there.
Kansas City.
Yeah.
And I'm sure there's. So what does your calendar look like in June? Where can everyone expect the infamous Bradchester?
I will be at
to just pop
Kansas
up?
City in June.
That's the first weekend in June.
What is the rest of the week or the month? I'm going to a bunch of tournaments. July is super packed because I'm going to ATC, Salt City, and some other shit.
It's only 4 weekends. So let's talk about June. So are you going to Atlantic City? I think that's the 9th and 10th of June.
I think that there's 2 tournaments on the same weekend that I said that I'm going to that weekend. So probably. Let's hear more about this new Eldari concept. It's not even that wacky. It's just I think I'm going to go back to Hail and just put more of a beatdown on stuff. It was either that or screw around. I actually debated on just taking straight Harlequins because I did play them in RTT recently and I loved them as usual. I didn't really care about the 5-up, but I could see myself taking Harlequins. But I think I'm going to play some Hail. I'll miss Eldrad terribly and the Ghost Town, but like wounding on 6s or hitting on auto wounding on 6s to hit is a big deal. It's good. Right about the time that I had to play Tyranid monsters and knights, I was like, you know what would be super awesome? Not having to try to roll the wound.
So I know you're at 21st. I didn't look at your screen. How far are you from being #1 baseball player in the country? Like if you get 2 scores in at 2 large events, literally
I could be number
3
1.
or 4 weeks.
Yes. If I put 2 #1s in at a major and a super major, I would be #1.
I guess I should look at my score. See what I have no idea where I am at.
Exactly. 5+ only applies if you don't get hit. I like that. But I could play that. It's just that easy. Follow these 3 steps to not getting killed.
Roll more 6s.
Roll more 6s. Don't get shot. There you go.
Perfect.
It's just that easy. So I'm juiced about that. Also, what happened to did I kill it down? What do you guys think of this background pic, by the way? This is a sick Angron picture I found. He doesn't look happy at all here.
All right, let's see. Where am I?
Where am I? Where am I right now?
I don't know. I'm lost in the brown eye of terror right now, so I am 141st.
That is true. Old Gold brings this up too. Ready? You can bring Angron back and give another bonus, basically, because you can choose your bonus, die, immediately bring him back. So he does have short guy anger. He definitely is my spirit animal. He has Napoleon complex written all over him. He definitely needs a Snickers. He is not happy with life in general. So, I don't know. I'm juiced. I might play Eldar. Find me a tournament next week. I'll play Eldar in that tournament. June, we've got KC, ACO if I go. There's something else. I'm going to 3 tournaments in June for sure.
Well, then the last weekend in June, we were talking about you coming down to do some streaming stuff for the launch of.
Yeah, besides that, I'll be at your house on the 24th.
How are you getting here if you're broke?
I've got a credit for shit that because like every time I fly, somehow like something terrible happens. So I do have a credit to fly.
Okay.
So I'm gonna get down there. You have to pick me up, and I'm gonna fly into.
Should we eat at your your favorite restaurant down here?
I do not want to eat at that trash place. That place
you don't
is
eat at
awful.
Shoney's again? The airport Shoney's and
the only good Shoney's was the one in Rick and Morty that he imagined into being. The one in his subconscious.
I just want to say, like, I've driven by other Shoney's. They look way nicer than that one.
Nothing could have not been.
We went to the ghetto shadiest Shoney.
Such a shitty place.
Hey, don't tell me that you're hungry immediately and then.
Yeah, this is what happened, everyone. I said I'm super starving. I haven't eaten. I took a super early flight and no breakfast, no anything. And I'm like, I really like to eat. And Brandon goes, no problem. I'll just take you to the worst restaurant I could possibly find, which looked like it was like closed and run down, like it was an abandoned building. And he's like, what's wrong about that?
In all fairness, I did suggest Waffle House, but you're like, no, we're not going to Waffle House because of some bad experience you had in Toledo at 3 in the morning 10 years ago.
Okay. Oh, Kyle's here. Good. We're literally ending this in like a minute and a half, Kyle. But thanks for. Did you get your car started or did you just walk home? That's what I need to know.
I want to know any like last minute words from Kyle talking about World Eaters.
We're gonna have to wait for the delay now.
Okay. All right, so streaming plan for next week. So Monday, you guys do a Meta Monday. Are you going to talk about AdMech before Meta Monday?
No. I also have seen a fight at the BG Waffle House. I've been in a fight at the BG Waffle House, so it's Waffle House. I think
sure I've been in a fight in the BG Waffle.
Britt says she's been in a fight at the BG Waffle House. It's just what happens.
Special.
You get some eggs and waffles, and somebody punches you, and you have to fight them.
I have never had a bad experience at Waffle House. I literally took Eloise to Waffle House on Valentine's Day, and we had an amazing time.
I feel like everyone from around here has been to the BG Waffle House and attacked at one point in time.
Speaking of Eloise, she just appeared into the brown eye of terror. You want to say something?
Hi.
We're talking about Waffle House experiences and how Brad missed out on a golden opportunity.
Best Valentine's Day ever.
See?
She's clearly just got back from drug rehab, but that's okay.
Have to settle down. See you later.
All of the things, some of the stuff.
All right. So It sounds like they look cool. This is from Kyle. They look cool. My life is a joke. Kyle, your life is not a joke, but if you lived in Tennessee, you'd have an easier time than North Carolina.
It'd be so much better.
Okay.
Blood Slaughter, that is true. It's still a cool model. Let's do stuff.
All right. So it's 6 o'clock. Do your pitches, Brad. What do you?
Please like and subscribe. Check out the Patreon. Actually, wait until after the weekend to check out the Patreon because I will have an ad for it and it will be changed because there's a bunch of stuff on there that I don't like. But join the Patreon, join the Patreon crew, do things and stuff. Make me happy. Make me be able to exist. And I want to keep doing stuff and or things. And we might actually put up the things more than a minute beforehand. And we'll have enough money to do these things. So
That'd be pretty cool. Make sure you guys like and subscribe as well. And if you're interested in watching me work on models, now that I'm back in the hobby cave, I plan on working on models all day Wednesday. So we'll be streaming that.
Love it. Live it. Also, I'm going to leave you with much younger Brad and the DOG screen. Later, everybody.